So this is our presentation for Painters Run Bridge number 3 on Painters Run Road in Upper St. Clair. This project is a county project with funding from the Federal Highway Administration and oversight from PennDOT. And the location is just east of McMillan Road along Painters Run, if anyone is wondering or unaware. Okay, Brent. So our project team includes myself and Rich Connors is our chief bridge engineer. Dheeraj Katyal, who's on, is our project manager. George Kranz is the project manager for PennDOT, serving in their oversight capacity, and Mark Young and Nick Crobot are with the PennDOT District 11 Environmental Unit. And Brent, who is our public information officer, is helping to facilitate this presentation. And if you have any questions, after the meeting or anything, his contact information is included below on the bottom left there. And you can forward them on and we'll try and respond in a timely manner. Okay, so really the purpose of this presentation is to try and introduce the project to the public and present our proposed work, the detour, and answer any questions that anyone may have regarding the work. And as far as the project itself, the purpose is to replace the superstructure, which is the beams that carry the roadway over Painters Run Road. The current structure is approaching the end of its useful life. We're attempting to replace it before we have to weight restrict the road or restrict it to truck traffic or take further measures. So Brent, if you want to go on. Okay, this is showing the project location. Like I said, it's just east of McMillan Road, just by a couple hundred feet. The scope of work for the project is generally going to consist of replacement of the existing superstructure and portions of the existing abutments. We're going to replace the abutment bearing seats that the beam sits on, do some crack and spall repairs on the existing concrete abutments, but they're in pretty decent shape. They don't need a complete replacement at this time. And we're going to install a new steel superstructure with a reinforced concrete deck and concrete barriers. We're also going to extend the retaining wall that was completed a handful of years ago and tie it into the bridge to prevent any potential future slides in the area, since we have had those problems in the past. We're going to construct some rock slopes and grout them to mitigate some scour issues we have and also prevent any future ones from arising. And we're going to do some approach roadway reconstruction, replacing the pavement in the area we work and extending a little further to tie in and get a nice smooth transition. We'll also be replacing guide rail on this stretch and replacing the signage and pavement markings. So as far as a proposed schedule, we are entering the final design stage where we do a lot of detail work, utility coordination with potential utility relocations, things like that. At this point, we're looking to advertise the project for construction and open bids in the fall of 2024. We would then, execute a construction contract, work on material procurement and everything with our contractor, and start construction in the early part of the summer in 2025 after the school year ends. The overall project length will probably be approximately 3 months, but right now we're identifying the actual closure that would impact traffic. We're trying to limit that to approximately 2 months to be as to limit as many disruptions as we can. So while the bridge is closed, traffic would need to be detoured, similarly to the retaining wall project a couple years ago. Traffic heading west on Painters Run Road would need to turn right onto Rob Hollow and head up, turning into Kelso, make the left onto Bower Hill, and then come back down Bower Hill Road and eventually make the left onto Painters Run. And traffic coming from Bower Hill Road or McMillan would need to take the same detour in reverse. Okay, this slide is part of the requirements due to our federal funding. It's regarding the National Environmental Policy Act. It's here to inform the public of all of our responsibilities and requirements related to the various federal laws for right-of-way acquisitions, environmental regulations, the Clean Air Act, Safe Water Drinking Act, and similar requirements or criteria that our project need to meet.
And that is it for our presentation. If anyone has any questions, concerns, or comments, they can put it in the chat, or if they want to, they can raise their hand by selecting React and then selecting Raise Hand. Does anyone have any questions?
Brent, you accidentally muted yourself.
Okay. Rich Pierce asks, what will the long closure mean for people who live just off the construction site?
They would most likely have to follow the, well, they will have to follow the detour during the closure period. As far as driveways in the area, we won't restrict access to their homes at any point. We will, make sure to make any necessary accommodations so that people have access to their homes at all times. So it will mostly just be, having to take the long way around to get from one side of the bridge to the other. You're muted again, Brent.
Sorry. Does anyone else have any questions or concerns? All right. Chris Mosier asks, I realize this may be a question for Scott Township, but the last time Painters Run was closed, there was traffic taking shortcuts through Worcester and Borland roads, which are neighborhood roads. How will this be mitigated during this closure?
Well, as part of our project, we do post a detour. We try and sign those appropriately and follow all of the traffic control standards that we need to. We can't close other roads or restrict them if they're open to public use. So that is something that is difficult in any construction project. But we typically, if we're seeing, confusion on a detour route, or people getting turned around, we try and change signage or add additional signs as we see to try and help to keep people onto the posted detour route.
And I would add to that, Chris, that if you notice during the closure that there's an issue, please email or call me, and I will forward along your requests or the issue along to our project manager, and we'll take a close look on what, if anything, we can do to try to help with the situation. All right, Rich Pierce with a question. How important is it to replace this bridge before a major incident? Many folks we've talked to cited concerns after recent incidents in Pittsburgh, etc.
So, I mean, it is definitely important to replace bridges before a major incident. You never want to have a major incident, so this is a structure that we've identified as not unsafe, but it has started to get to the end of its useful life. It was last replaced in 1955, and so it's approaching 70 years old, and that's about the useful life for a superstructure, is typically around 75 years. So we want to try and stay ahead of that, get it replaced, before we have a major incident. And this being a very heavily traveled road, being able to limit the closure time and get to it, replace it on our schedule rather than, having some sort of major event happen and then have to react. It's just all around a better situation if we can be proactive and take care of things before that would happen.
And to follow up on what Mike said, this bridge is safe right now. It only recently moved to poor status with a rating of 4. It does not have a weight limit. We're going to continue to monitor it before construction starts. And if there were any concern at all, we would err on the side of caution and close it early. But there's no indication that's going to occur right now, and it is completely safe for the traveling public.
Thank you, Brent.
Question from Chris Mosier. I realize this may be outside the scope of this project, but there seems to be a similar bridge, seems similar in age at least, near the intersection of Bower Hill and Painters Run Road. Has that been looked at for replacement as well?
There are several bridges near that intersection, so I'm not sure exactly which one you're referring to, but I can say that I know several of those bridges we have completed repairs on in the last 10 years, and we do have a routine inspection program to conduct safety inspections on all of our structures at least once every 2 years. So they do get looked at regularly, and all of the bridges in that area, like I said, have generally been repaired in the last couple years, 5 to 10 or so, and as of all of their last inspections, none of them were identified as needing to be weight restricted or anything like that that would indicate that they're in need of immediate repair. But we do try and evaluate all of our structures as part of our overall program and identify which ones will need to be replaced in the coming years. And that's typically when we would start a project like this for Painters Run 3.
And Chris, like Mike said, there are several bridges in that area. If you want to narrow it down with me at some point, and then we can discuss that specific bridge and its condition, I would be glad to do so. And again, my contact information is on our website. It's also in this presentation, which will be on our website. So, if you want to contact me, I'd be glad to help. Does anyone else have any questions at this time?
Brent, you're muted again.
I don't know why that keeps happening. I think we're going to end the presentation at this time. Again, if anyone needs to reach out to me, you think of a question or a concern after the meeting, we will all be available. So please don't hesitate to let us know. And we thank you all for coming. And we'll be busy soon with the project. Thank you very much.